Testing.
Testing.
Okay.
Testing. I'm talking into this microphone too.
Okay.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a couple of kindness yet for old lang syne. We'll take a couple of kindness yet for old lang syne.
Well, hello and welcome to Triple Spiral, the 2022 end of year recap and celebration?
Yeah.
Question mark?
Yeah.
Yeah, today we are going to count down a bunch of lists. This is like really the platonic ideal of a Triple Spiral episode.
Yeah.
Just like list-o-rama.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so I've got a page of lists in front of me, although I may alter my lists on the fly.
Dude, oh my God, it was so difficult. Some of them, especially the movies list.
Yeah, I had a long movie list.
Yeah.
And like, this is so. I actually think a top 3 list is a really interesting thing, right? Because
Right.
when you have a top 10 list or even a top 5 list, you get some room to play around with.
Yeah.
But a top 3 list is all killer, no filler.
Yes, absolutely.
And you have to make some very tough decisions.
You're stating the thesis of this show.
That's true.
You know,
Yes.
like,
So-
get it down to your triple spiral, man. What do you, yeah.
So obviously we will probably hedge our bets with some honorable mentions here and there. But more than anything, today's about doing the lists and thinking about the year in stuff that we liked and a few things that we didn't like.
Yes.
You know, I mean, in the spirit of 2022, which like I can say was probably the worst year of my life.
Yeah, probably, right?
I hated 2022.
Yeah, it was
I'm
awful.
so glad it's over. I'm feeling a lot better about 2023 for now. You know, we're like 14, 15 days in, but you know, it's going better.
The motto or the anthem
Mm-hmm.
of this household is the Zombies song, This Will Be Our Year.
Oh yeah. I love
That's
that song.
we keep singing that song. We keep doing, you know, that's the anthem.
There's a little bit of an ironic twinge to that to me, just because I did do a podcast episode called "This Will Be Our Year" in January of 2020.
Oof.
So
That's so funny when things age poorly like that. Like I did a episode of Tuesdays with Morgan where I'm talking about the pandemic happening like in the moment. It's like in March or April of 2020, and I'm saying I don't know if I'm going to feel comfortable going to a movie theater in May, like talking about Black Widow.
yeah, a lot of stuff like that ages poorly. But I mean, then again, actually, ultimately, 2020 was not that bad. Like, I mean,
2020, yeah,
globally, geopolitically,
right.
You know, a lot of bad things, but also a lot of good things. And for me, like personally and professionally, 2020 pretty good. 2022, the less said, the better.
Yeah, agreed.
Unless we're talking about stuff, which is why, like, let's just jump into one of these lists. Do you want to
let's talk about the things that kept us, you know, our escapism.
Yeah, let's talk about escapism. Let's do it. Do you want to do like a big ticket item first and just go straight into movies?
Sure, absolutely.
Let's do top 3 movies.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so top 3 movies of the year. You want to count down in reverse?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your number 3 movie of the year?
Okay, so I actually chose this because we've already been talking about it.
Okay.
The movie Prey.
Yeah, Prey. Nice.
So good.
Prey narrowly missed my top 3 list. I think it's number 4.
I included it because I thought I needed like an action film.
Yeah. Now that I have a projector, I'm really excited to watch Prey again on like the pseudo big screen, since that's an
Sure.
opportunity that we did not get since it came out on Hulu. But yeah, great movie. Amber Midthunder, what a star.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we talked about this before, but I don't even really have any attachment to the Predator universe, and I still loved it.
No, I don't have it. I care very little.
Yeah, there's like 1 or 2 things that are like very clearly Easter eggs of some kind in the movie that I like looked up later and was like, oh, fine, but like you don't need it.
Yeah.
So if you heard us talk about Prey and the thing that was holding you back from watching it was just that you're like, I don't know, Predator, like don't even worry about it.
It's just an amazing film.
Yeah, it's woman versus alien. That's the movie.
Amen.
And nothing else really matters.
No.
Okay, so Prey, that's great. All right. My number 3 is kind of a wild card.
Okay, great.
1 and 2 are honestly kind of tied for number 1.
Dude, same.
So my number 3 choice is a little movie called White Noise.
Oh my God. Oh my fucking God, dude.
Here's the thing. I kind of surprised myself with this, but it just kept happening. Every time I was going through my list of movies, and I tried to catch like a bunch of movies just recently, like the last few of the year.
Well, and this just hit too, right?
Yeah, it just hit.
It's a Netflix movie?
Yes, it's a Netflix movie.
Okay, and so I knew nothing about this movie until all of a sudden it was boom there.
Yeah.
And okay, so why is this on your list?
I watched a bunch of great movies at the end of the year, right?
Same.
I watched Emily the Criminal.
Yep.
I watched Banshees of Inisherin. I watched The Menu. I watched Senior, the Robert Downey Jr.
Really?
movie.
How was
and
that?
It's great.
Yeah.
All of them are great.
Yeah.
And all of them are in my top 10, in fact.
Yeah.
Which was kind of crazy to watch your top 10 like fill up.
I
completely,
agree,
like, at
dude.
the end of the year.
The same thing happened to me.
And it's not recency bias either. Like
no, I agree.
Like these are the best movies that came out this year. And so anyway, for some reason, I just couldn't stop thinking about White Noise, which I just thought was such a odd and interesting big swing. Like I just watched it and it's long, but I kind of want to watch it again because it just felt like it had so much to say and it went about saying it in such an odd way. And even despite all that, the middle section of the movie, when the airborne toxic event happens and they're kind of evading it and then dealing with the fallout of it, is just a great movie. Like there's a great action movie in the middle of this incredibly weird 2-hour, 40-minute bizarre experiment. And at the end of the day, I just had to stand up and salute that.
Okay. Here's how I feel about White Noise. 75% of it, great. Really did not like the third act. Kind of like, it's like the movie ends and then it's like, nope, there's more.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't need this.
The third act to me felt the most like, oh yeah, we are adapting a novel. And this novel is clearly something that's mostly interior. What the movie seems to be saying about death is so interesting. Like, almost like there's no escaping the reality of death except to forget everything. And it's not really laying those out as paths you shouldn't follow. It's kind of like, well, you have options.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I enjoyed it, but it certainly is not on my list. It's not on my top 10.
I feel like it was going to be in my top 10 no matter what for its end credits sequence alone.
That was wild.
Which is just fantastic. It's one of the most exciting 7 minutes of a movie I've seen all year, and I've seen some very exciting movies all year. It's just a great, obviously a lot of credit goes to LCD Sound System for that song.
The more you're talking about this, the more I'm upset.
It's so weird the way I couldn't believe it, but it just kind of kept working its way up into my top 3.
Absolutely wild.
So yeah, so number 3, White Noise, Noah Baumbach. An odd movie. But
absolutely.
But very interesting. All right, number 2.
Okay, so I'm very interested to talk with you about this.
Uh-huh.
Because number 2 is The Menu.
I love The Menu.
So arguably number 1, these are kind of tied.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Okay, I have been a service worker for the past 15 years. Mm-hmm. This movie spoke to me in such an aggressive way.
I knew it would.
And I'm curious to hear what you think of it because you are a person who has worked service industry jobs before, but it's not your life.
Right.
And it is this. Okay, so we're at a very interesting point in our culture, which has been, for the past few years, it's been eat the rich kind of thing. But there's now a turn within the food industry that these higher end restaurants are restaurants of privilege.
Yes.
And so people who worked these jobs originally thought that, we loved this stuff. And then we all kind of started to turn and be like, no, fuck this shit.
Right.
Because it's catering to rich people and it's fucking dumb.
Right.
It's like, just make good food and shut up about it. Like this is like a kind of thing that's growing within the industry. And you're seeing a lot of people who did do these higher end things kind of transition out of it. So like, are you familiar with the term staging?
Yes.
And about the political aspects of this? Not political, but basically it's making people work for free.
I get the sense that there was a mounting backlash against the idea of staging, in the same way that in other industries there's been a backlash against unpaid internships in general. It's just that for some reason the staging thing had this, I don't know, had this.
You're doing it to poor people. That's
Right.
mostly what the issue is. You're taking restaurant industry workers, because this does not happen at just higher end restaurants. The main bit is this movie was directed at us, it was and to the point where around the restaurant we say quotes from this movie now, because it's these are who we're, this is our clientele.
Yeah.
Really, really spoke to me. Loved it so much. Ralph Fiennes, amazing performance.
It's I think he should be nominated for Best Actor.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, maybe they could say Best Supporting.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
honestly, I don't understand the decision behind Best
Right.
Supporting or Best. A lot of time it's kind of just gamesmanship, but just whenever he is on screen, he is holding your attention.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's and a good supporting actor, I think, can both give and take attention, but in part it's the role, and in part it's just the power of Ray Fiennes. But you're on that guy.
Yeah.
Even in a movie with Anya Taylor-Joy and Nicholas Hoult,
Yes.
who are both great.
I know.
And John Leguizamo, who has this kind of just been around forever, and you just kind of love him by default. It's that guy,
Yeah.
So first of all, to circle back, just let's say the menu is this movie. It's a clearly a COVID production kind of movie. It's
Yeah.
a single location, small cast movie about some people that go to a very, very fancy high-end restaurant and some bad things happen. Not cannibalism. I would just love to say.
I know, right? Everybody thought it was.
Yes.
I definitely thought it was going to be that.
For some reason, I didn't. I don't know why, but
You were right.
Everyone I've suggested this movie to is do they eat the people? And I'm like, no, they don't. Maybe this idea that people keep hearing eat the rich, right? And they're like, oh, someone literalized it. But in fact, this is a movie being made by a guy from Succession, and the approach is a lot more nuanced than that. It's really not an eat the rich movie.
No.
It's about what happens when you anchor your art to commerce, and what are the things that can happen, And I think one of the most important scenes in the movie is when Ray Fiennes is saying I have allowed my work to reach a price point where it can only be consumed by these rich people who don't care about it, right?
Is his name not Ralph Fiennes?
It is Ralph, but you actually pronounce it Rafe.
Oh, okay.
It's Rafe Fiennes.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
He's Voldemort to me, and that's basically it.
I feel like my best tweet I ever wrote was the Rafe beyond the Fines. But it's obviously you have to understand that odd pronunciation of his name in order to get it. So I watched the menu twice, and the first time through, I was just I was more just delighting in the kind of chef's table atmosphere of it.
Yes. Oh man, the little chef's table cues.
Yes.
Were so great.
And David Gelb from Chef's Table worked on this movie,
Mm.
so they really got the guy to do it.
Yeah.
And some of the jokes as the movie goes on, and it's showing you the dishes and listing the ingredients.
Yeah.
Just get funnier and funnier.
Yes.
And to me that was because I've heard people say the ending is not much of a payoff. But the listing,
I actually disagree with that. But okay.
Listing the dessert dish on screen and listing its ingredients was so funny to me. I was that's a spectacular joke to end on. So anyway, yeah, I loved it. But anyway, I was gonna say was the first time through I was all just absorbed in the trappings of it, and the second time through I was absorbing way more of the kind of the served and the servants and art and money and all these kind of themes that go throughout it. And I do think it has a lot to say in a way that can be like unpacked in an interesting, fun way. And what you're talking about too, this kind of like the narrative outside of the movie about what's happening with higher end restaurants, like good timing, right? This story about
seriously.
The story about Noma, that appears to have maybe been starting out as an expose of Noma. Like the New York Times, I think, is.
Oh, is that true?
Well, yeah. There's in the story the New York Times wrote that ended up being about how Rene Redzepi is basically closing Noma and reinventing it.
Yeah.
There was some stuff about like people staging there and that kind of thing. And so some people were suggesting it's possible that the New York Times was going to publish a story about like labor violations at Noma.
Yeah.
And Rene Redzepi was like, whatever, I'm just going to close the place.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, who knows? That may not be the case.
Yeah.
But interesting timing. And this is not the only one. Have you guys watched Glass Onion?
Yeah.
Okay. So Glass Onion, insane timing.
Yeah.
Like totally
Agreed.
insane timing where it's like, how did this happen? Like I follow Rian Johnson. I know that guy's been working on this movie for like 2 years.
Yeah.
How did he call this shot? And in the same way, like the menu's actually been out for a while. But when it hit HBO, all of a sudden it was everywhere on social media. Everyone was watching the menu. And it's like a lot of people who are concerned about the state of movies are holding up the menu as this great thing because it made a bunch of money when it was in theaters. And then it hit streaming and it made a second huge splash.
Yeah.
And that's the business model going forward.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So anyway, yes, The Menu, great movie.
Great movie. Okay. We don't have your number 2 yet, right?
All right. So my number 2 movie, I'm going to go ahead and say it's The Fabelmans.
Okay.
So I was kind of having a hard time with 1 and 2 on my list here.
Absolutely.
So The Fabelmans, I just saw yesterday. So it's fresh in my mind, but again, it's not a recency bias thing. This movie feels like it was made specifically for me.
Yeah.
When I saw the trailer, it looked like a sort of sentimental look at being a young creative person and kind of launching a career and just seeing like what is Steven Spielberg's childhood like, right? It's so much more than that. Because it is so much about his parents and their kind of messed up relationship. But there's also just, it almost feels like each individual set piece in this movie is telling a different little story about creativity and your ability to emotionally process things through art or not. And there's just so much to it. I was so engaged the entire time. Parts of this movie are so funny. Parts of it are pretty hard to watch. But I don't know. This is a movie that I also saw Licorice Pizza earlier this year, which was technically a 2021 movie.
I watched that.
And a lot about that movie and the kind of like being a creative young hustler spoke to me.
Yeah.
Not nearly on the level that The Fabelmans like reached into my chest and explored some stuff even, that I both can relate to from my childhood and as an adult and as a father and as a husband. And there's stuff that like, sort of like Steven Spielberg, I might not really be ready to talk about until I'm like 75 years old,
Sure.
Like this is a movie that it's like, man, this guy reaching toward the end of his life went back into his past and dug the fuck in. Like he did it. He went in and he pulled out everything and he found significance for all of these things that most likely, I think a lot of them happened to him. It's hard to say for sure. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. When things like that happen, it's like you're doing, do you, man?
Yeah. There's a few even kind of like winking moments where he's kind of saying like, honestly saying to you like, yeah, this really happened. It has a beautiful, perfect final shot. I laughed out loud. And I'll just say that there's a scene in The Fabelmans where something bad is happening with the family. The family is having a hard discussion. And the character who's Sammy, who's like the Steven Spielberg stand-in, just briefly in a mirror sees himself walking around the room with a camera filming it. It's not really happening. He imagines himself filming it. As if to say, the only way I can really process this is if I made a movie about it. The only way I can really get my arms around these emotions is if I create something about it. And I felt that very, very deeply. That moment like shocked me, and I was like sitting there, kind of stunned in my theater seat for a minute. So yeah, The Fablemans, absolutely loved it. It's going to be a movie that's going to be very special to me, for the rest of my life, and maybe for different reasons as I go on. But yeah, beautiful, wonderful movie. Number 2.
I can't wait to see it, man. That's
You're gonna
so
love
great.
it.
Okay, so number 1, this is a wild choice for me.
Okay.
David O. Russell's Amsterdam.
Really?
Yes.
I haven't seen this because it was not super well reviewed.
I don't get that. I heard that too.
Mm-hmm.
I never actually saw any bad reviews, but someone that I was talking to was like, it didn't get great reviews, so I didn't watch it.
Well, I saw the trailer and I was like, I'm very curious what this is even about.
It's so good.
Yeah, great cast.
Great cast.
John David Washington, Margot Robbie, Robert De Niro,
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. Yeah,
Christian Bale.
I'm mixed on Christian Bale.
I hate you. I seriously, though, get the fuck out. No,
I like Christian Bale.
no. So
I have a hard time looking at him sometimes.
That's fair. It's just fun. That's what I like about it. Like, it's very like
It's kind of a romp, right?
yeah, it's kind of a romp,
Mm-hmm.
and it's mostly just about those 3 characters being friends. It basically takes place post World War I, where John David Washington and Christian Bale were soldiers in World War I. They meet Margot Robbie, who is working as a nurse at the time. Okay, so then they go to Amsterdam and then return to the United States, and the whole movie is about like what happened in Amsterdam, and it's just so much fun. And Christian Bale is in full form in this movie, right? His face is all messed up the whole time.
He loves a messed up face.
He loses an eye in World War I. I can't say it enough. It's just a lot of fun. David O. Russell, bro. Like, I'm glad you're like still doing it.
Complicated man.
Complicated man for sure.
A
but
complicated man, sordid history. Here's the thing. I love a good yelling movie. I'm not sure if this one is, but I think. I recently laid out that like one of my favorite kinds of genres is just yelling. So I love Glengarry Glen Ross.
Yeah,
just a yelling movie. Yeah. I love A Few Good Men, and Silver Linings Playbook and I Heart Huckabees are both yelling movies.
Absolutely.
I Heart Huckabees is kind of almost like a 50-50, very fast talking yelling movie, but the other one, Silver Linings Playbook, solid yelling.
Yes.
2 hours of yelling.
Yes.
And I love it. And that movie is very special to me in kind of odd ways. I actually kind of feel like I need to watch that movie again because I feel like I forget. Sometimes I forget what I like about Jennifer Lawrence. And I see like a Jennifer Lawrence movie trailer and I'm like, oh, something's bugging me.
See, the way that I feel about Jennifer Lawrence is that I feel like she chooses very good things and very meh things.
I think that's the thing. Is I think the last movie I watched that Jennifer Lawrence was in was X-Men: Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
And she
not her fault.
Well, no, but she is visibly miserable.
Yeah, that's true.
and so it's like, all right, well, you could rally. Michael Fassbender rallied for this. You know what I mean?
That's true. By the way, Michael Fassbender's performance in that movie, pretty awesome.
All right, so my number 1 movie.
Yeah.
My number 1 movie, it's just a little film, a little indie film called Top Gun Maverick.
Dude, I literally knew exactly what you were going to say. I can't believe it.
Top Gun Maverick might be the greatest movie ever made. Have you watched it yet?
No.
Oh my God. It is every movie-ish thing about this movie is dialed up to 1,000%.
Yeah.
Like, I was like cackling with delight at the scenes where like the young pilots are like quipping at each other, you know? It's like, it's over the top. Tom Cruise, his antics in the movie are over the top. He literally throws the rule book in the trash at one point.
Oh my God.
Like he literally takes the rule book and throws it in the trash. And then like John Hamm, who's like the disciplinarian guy, like has this look like, he just threw the rule book in the trash.
Oh my God.
It's the greatest. And then like there's all these different characters. Like there's this guy whose call sign is Warlock, who is like John Hamm's right-hand man, but who's like kind of secretly rooting for Tom Cruise, you know? And there's moments where Tom Cruise does something great and then you see Warlock and he's like, yes. You know? And it's the best. And Glenn Powell is a younger actor who is one of the pilots. He plays a pilot named Hangman. And this guy, like every single time he's on screen, you're like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, he's like the most movie star looking movie star I've ever seen in my life. And
see
he
what
just
he
like
looks like.
he's like he'll just like grin with a toothpick in his mouth, and it's like dazzling, you know. And so
Okay, yes, I know that guy.
so much. It's just so like there's so much great like dad stuff. There's so many like great moments of triumph. Like, I mean, this movie gives you a control room celebration, which is some of the best scenes in the world.
Sure.
Like 6 minutes into the movie, there's a control room celebration.
That's
and you're
great.
like, and it just goes on from there. Like the opening 10 minutes of the movie are like unbelievably fun. And then you're like, the movie's like, guess what? We're just going to keep going.
Oh my god.
And it is a delight. Top Gun Maverick, fantastic movie. Tom Cruise, can do no wrong. Everything. All right. There's one of my lists of things for later on is some of my favorite lines.
Yeah.
There's a line from Andor that is Andor has like 10,000 banger lines. And one of them is a character passing a message through another character. And it's, tell him I love him more than anything he could ever do wrong. And it's a fantastic, beautiful,
I really like that.
wonderful line. And I want to just cheerfully say that about Tom Cruise too. Because, oh my God.
Yes, I know.
Top
Tom
Gun
Cruise
Maverick.
He's incredible.
Fantastic movie. Run, don't walk. You got to watch this movie.
I like it.
Greatest movie of the year, maybe the greatest movie of all time. Like if we're differentiating like film from movie.
Right, sure.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, before we go on, do you want to just shout out a couple of honorable mentions?
Absolutely.
Let's not even talk about them. Let's just throw them out.
Emily the Criminal.
Same. I have it on my list of so good.
Vengeance. BJ Novak's directorial debut. Which
Oh man, I haven't seen
It's
that
on
yet.
Peacock.
It looks so good.
yeah.
Oh shoot. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
What else? The Batman.
Oh, the Batman. Yeah, great film. I mean, I the thing is that the Batman's not on anybody's. I mean, it's on plenty of people's lists that like probably like Zack Snyder dudes and stuff. But like in the scope of things, Batman is not on my top 3.
It was a really gratifying movie to see in the theater. It just felt like the right way to see it with like that soundtrack really blaring,
Yeah.
But although like I think that it's very dark the way that the movie is filmed, and it's honestly the kind of dark where it probably looked better on a TV.
Yeah.
But
It's so dark.
it is. But you can turn up the brightness, on a
on a
TV.
TV,
You
yeah.
can't in a movie theater.
That's true. And also, I said it's not on anybody's list, and I feel like it is on Tom's list. Sorry, Tom.
That's true. I think it was. Yeah. And Tom had mentioned Banshees of Inisherin,
Yeah.
which I really liked.
I have not seen that either.
It's kind of fable-like in a way. It reminded me in a weird way of the Tommy DePaula books that I read, The Boys, like where it's kind of got. It sort of seems to follow like folktale rules.
Interesting.
Which I thought was like a fun and interesting choice, but one that I think some people have a hard time with because they're like, "Would this really happen?" And it's like, no.
Yeah.
But like, you're not supposed to think that way.
Right.
Although, however, just speaking about in terms of like mythic storytelling thinking versus real world thinking, to circle back to the Batman for a second, something that really bugs me is I've seen multiple people talk about the next Batman movie as though Gotham City is still going to be flooded. And I'm like,
What?
You know that cities that flood don't stay flooded, right? Like they're like, oh yeah, Batman's now like, it's going to be like Venice. And it's like, no, there's drains. It's just a lot of water came in at once.
Yeah.
That's what was, in fact, at the end of the movie, the flooding was already subsiding.
Yeah.
Like, this is not they're not turning Gotham into an underwater city to create like some kind of Aquaman tie-in or something.
Yeah.
But I've seen multiple people talk about that.
That's weird.
And I'm like,
That's a weird take.
not to be like municipal stormwater guy, but like that doesn't happen.
But you are a municipal stormwater guy.
Yeah.
I'll just rattle them off. Where the Crawdads Sing, great film. Everything Everywhere All at Once, great film. Nope, great film. All of them. Watch them.
I'm gonna watch Nope. I'm gonna watch Nope. I'm gonna do it. I'm like
I
kind of
think
working.
you'll really like
I'm
it.
working my way up to it just because I have a hard time with things that are scary.
I don't think it's that scary, to be honest with you.
Well, that's good. I saw a clip
Yeah.
that was very scary.
There's
So-
like a couple of things that happen that are like pretty scary, but like to be honest with you, it's mostly just like an enjoyable time, you know, like
all right.
so where do we go from here, host?
So here's the thing. I feel like I want to talk about music, just to do a little interlude between all the visual stuff. But like, I had a really hard time with the albums. Like, maybe I have become a not album person anymore.
I loved a triple spiral. My maiden.
Number 3 on my list is Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers by Kendrick Lamar. Basically unlistenable. Okay? It actually is like it's like, this is not an album that you put on when you are looking to like enjoy music.
I haven't heard of the whole album, but yeah,
this album.
I know what you mean.
I mean, there is literally like a 7-minute fight between him and a woman that is sort of a song and sort of not. Like it's amazing and an artistic achievement. And that is why it's on my albums list.
Right.
Without having any songs that I picked out as being really important,
Right.
you know, or anything like that. It's just an amazing artistic accomplishment.
Right.
And so I was like, it can't not be on this list. I don't have much else to say about it. Kendrick Lamar, you know, it's like this guy everybody recognizes as being a genius. So
Right.
it's not like he's not like, you know, underappreciated. But
He's an appreciated genius.
yeah, he really is. And this is quite the album. Strange as Hell.
All right. So I guess for my number 3 album, I'm going to go with The Will to Live by Titus Andronicus. Even though the current Titus Andronicus sort of style is to make an album where like about half the songs aren't really songs.
Yeah.
Like there's songs that'll just be like a guitar riff for 3 minutes.
Right.
You know? And those don't do much for me. But I will say that something about the way this album opens and a few of the songs on it, it just really felt like what I needed at a time when I needed some resilience, you know? Like the opening song on this album is like, it's all instrumental, it's all guitars.
Right.
And it just feels like the soundtrack to like, okay, we've all taken a lot of hits, but we're gonna make it, you know? Like we're gonna survive.
Yeah.
And we're gonna survive through the power of guitar. And and I think that is kind of Titus Andronicus' motto, and it just feels like you know, I don't know. The first couple times I put that album on, it felt like it did what I needed it to do. And so that's why it gets the number 3 spot.
I like it. I think it's a good choice.
Mm-hmm. All right, what's your number 2?
All right. It's Almost Dry. Pusha T. Okay. Now, one of the main reasons that I put this on here is because, I mean, there are some straight up bangers, but I think it is the I think it is the death rattle of Kanye West.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because this guy is someone who Kanye West was so important to me for so long, and he just absolutely did everything in his power to make me not want that anymore. And then this year happened, and everything went. It went burned the cathedral down.
Right.
Scorched earth.
This is the year that Kanye finally found the part of his career and fan base that he needed to finally set on fire to destroy all of it permanently.
Yes.
And he did it.
And he did it. But I will say this one thing. Really produced the hell out of these tracks. Okay, so I don't love it that it's on here. I don't love that we're talking about it. I think that the public space of talking about Kanye West should be over because, like, fuck you forever.
Yes, as people who've talked about Kanye West a lot, yes, we will stop.
we will stop. And I will say, the crown jewel of this is that you were able to put out "Dreamin' of the Past," which is maybe the greatest song of all time. It's so good. But yeah, the like this is it. Pusha T even ended up being like, I'm done with Kanye West after this.
You know,
So-
everybody needs to take that leap.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of Pusha for doing so.
And it's like, but like that's got to be so hard for him in the same way that it was like had to be so hard for like Feist to walk off the Arcade Fire tour.
Yeah.
There is something that you have to just like find within yourself to be like, yeah, I put out the biggest album of my career with this guy. It is his doing that this album is so big. And I am still like, no, this is not cool or good or, you know, whatever.
You know what I loved about what Feist did, by the way, just to circle back to that for a second, is that what I loved about what Feist did was Feist was like, here are my reasons,
Yeah.
and here's why it's going to be all right for me and the people that I
Right.
work with. But she kind of left the door open, like for other people. Like, if you're another person and you end up on a tour with an act who turns out to be problematic and you didn't know before the tour started, but you need to keep going for the sake of your or other people's artistic survival, you
Or
can,
economic
you know,
survival too. Yeah.
that's what I mean. You know, you can do it, and we love you. You
Yeah.
know? And it was like,
I agree.
that was to me like a huge moment in kind of like artistic leadership this year.
Yes.
Was that particular statement, because I was like, she really laid it out. Like,
Yeah.
this is why I'm walking away, and this is why I can. But I recognize that other people can't, and we all need to recognize that other people can't.
Right. Yes. So true and troubling, but also like she did it with like such grace.
Shout
that
out
it
to
was
Feist.
like,
I just put on Feist.
Yeah.
I put on Let It Die the other day.
oh my God, it's so good.
It's still so
everything
good.
that she does is good.
Underrated Feist album is Metals.
I don't think I know a ton of tracks from Metals.
It's like, it's one of those ones that like, it almost seems so slight that you can almost, if it's playing in the background, you almost don't hear it at first.
sure.
But then like eventually you kind of, you figure out what she's doing. Because there's no 1, 2, 3, 4 on Metals.
Right,
You know?
right.
So it's like, it's definitely a different mood. But anyway, Feist is great.
Give me two.
My number 2 album is Quitters by Christian Lee Hudson. You know, I think we said before, like, it didn't hit me as hard as
Right.
Beginners did, but I mean, Christian Lee Hudson is Christian Lee Hudson, and
Amen.
he's a master songwriter. There's some incredible songs on here. Cherry is one of my favorites. Strawberry Lemonade, fantastic.
Yeah.
I just love spending time with the way that this guy sees music and words.
Right. Yes. Oh man, what a perfect way to put it.
Yeah,
that's so true.
So Quitters, number 2. What's your number 1?
Number 1, Harry's House, Harry Styles.
Aha, yeah, of course.
It's a perfect album.
It's great.
It's front to back. There is not a bad song on it. It is also one of those things that, like, this is him finally coming to full form. So he has 3 albums out as a solo artist.
Wow, I didn't know he had that many.
The songs on it are just, every single one of them is very different. And that's what I really like about it. I also really like, I watched a thing about them recording Fine Line, the second album. And during it, he's had the same band this whole time, and they're incredible. The live show that he's been putting on, which is called like Love on Tour or something like that, it's incredible. Like the visuals from this show, everything he's been wearing, they all wear like these jumpsuits. Like the band wears all these jumpsuits every time. And he's got a multi-instrumentalist that's crazy. He's got this drummer, Sarah, something that's like incredible. And this guitar player, Mitch, okay? And Mitch was picked up. They started putting the band together for the first album. The guitar player that they hired did not show up that day. The producer goes, well, my roommate plays guitar, and he might have to work at the pizza shop today, but I can see if he can come down. This guy had never recorded in a studio before, and they pulled him in, and he's now like on every album, writing the songs with him. There's this beautiful moment where Harry Styles gives him this guitar that's like this fucking gorgeous, like hollow body white. It's like all white. It's gorgeous. Anyway, I just support this man in anything that he does. He's also a pretty good actor. Like the movies that I've seen him in, My Policeman and Don't Worry, Darling, he's great in.
And Eternals.
And Eternals, which, by the way, when he comes into Eternals, like, I really think that, like, once he's actually like in the MCU, I really think that Euros is going to be like a pretty dope character, because one of his main things is that he's got like charm, like he's like a he's like able to like like change your will,
Right.
kind of thing. Like he in the comic books, he shows up on Earth and he goes, "Hey, I want to be an Avenger," and the Avengers go, "Okay." Like it's like it's great.
They need it, and what they need in the MCU right now is charmers.
Yeah.
They need, like, I mean, not in terms of characters. I'm saying in terms of actors.
Yeah.
And that's what Harry Styles can be.
Yeah.
I've only seen him in Eternals. I haven't seen those other movies, but like just based on his stage persona, like that's something he can access. And because the most charming person they have right now is Jonathan Majors.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
So
and he's the villain, and
yeah,
that's bad.
That's creating a
Yeah.
power imbalance.
Yeah.
Yep. So you need that in there. You need a charm offensive in Marvel. All right. My number one album is called Ants From Up Here. It's by a band called Dark Country New Road. Shout out to friend of the pod, Raynell Cooper, who put me onto this band. Who turned out to be really important to me in like a year that it turns out maybe we don't get Arcade Fire anymore.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because in some ways they're sort of a successor, or they have that early power that Arcade Fire had, where the music feels it has this force behind it. And there are parts of this album that just feel like they're going to knock you over, and then all of a sudden the time signature changes and like totally blows your mind. Now, as a caveat, I will say that the process of making this album was apparently so arduous that the lead singer of the band quit, and so far hasn't come back. But I don't know that that's going to be a permanent state of affairs.
Sure.
So sometimes to create something great, you have to destroy your band, and Dark Country New Road sort of did, but in the process they created a fantastic, incredible album, and it's my number one of the year.
I love a triple spiral.
Yeah, let's just do our songs too, because I imagine there's some commonality.
Yeah, there is for sure.
There was a lot of debate about which of the Bright Eyes reissue songs I was going to put in my triple spiral. I felt like I could really only put one. So I've been listening a lot to those reissues and just kind of like, and in the end, number 3 on my triple spiral list is Goldmine Gutted.
That's the only one on here?
That's the only one on my top 3. Yeah, I had to make room for other artists.
Gutted.
But
Interesting choice.
I don't know. There's something about it that just feels like
I just assumed it was going to be Waste of Paint.
Waste of Paint is a lot of fun. Goldmine Gutted feels like the perfect expression of what this reissue project is supposed to do.
Yeah.
And in some ways, Waste of Paint is kind of tied for number 3, but I just felt like, I don't know, I felt like I had to make a declaration, and I chose it would be Goldmine Gutted just because, I don't know, there's something about it that it just sounds beautiful.
I went through a similar thing with this, but I actually chose the opposite of anything, which is that I did not put any Bright Eyes songs on this list.
Wow, all right.
Because I was like, I wanted room for other things, and also these are old songs, so like I chose to go with 2022 songs.
I respect it. All right, so what's your number 3?
My number 3 is, honorable mention of Dreaming of the Past. I've talked about it so much, so I didn't put it on here.
Right, that's good list making.
Time Escaping by Big Thief off of the new album.
Yep, that's a good one.
I just think that it's a perfect example of what I'm talking about with this like artistic change within them, where like they're using different instruments. It's a good song, in general,
right.
But they're using different instruments. They're creating something different. And I wanted to do Spud Infinity because it's such a funny, weird song. But Time Escaping, check that out. It's a good song. What's your number 3? Did you already say?
I said number 3, Goldmine Gutted. My number 2 is Heat Lightning by Mitski.
I don't know them at all.
See, I really love Mitski. I think her voice is so like beautiful and powerful, and it's this song in particular. I think just really demonstrates.
What's the name of the song?
It's called Heat Lightning.
Heat Lightning. Okay, sorry.
This song I think really demonstrates kind of like the power of her vocal clarity more than any other. There's lots of great Mitski songs that are almost a little more like wailing and crazy. Like she has some songs where she really goes nuts, but this one is like it's very controlled and just beautiful. I just love listening to it. It's like
is it just her, or is it like I know nothing about? Yeah. Is it a band?
It is a person, but it's also like she has a band. So yeah, I don't know that I would say it's like the song to start with for Mitski. I would actually just pull up. She has an album called "Be the Cowboy,"
Okay.
from a couple years ago, and I would just pull that on track 1, start there. But as a person who's listened to Mitski for a long time, Heat Lightning was just really satisfying because it was like there's a lot of things that she does very well. Very interesting instrumentation, very interesting like rising and falling and odd climax moments and that kind of thing. But she also just has a beautiful voice. And Heat Lightning just feels like a showcase for her voice, and I love it. So yeah, that's my number 2 song.
My number 2 song is from. I'm actually not going to be able to remember the proper title of the album, but it's from the new Father John Misty album. Father John Misty.
Chloe at the something.
Chloe in the 21st century, in the next 21st century. It's something like that. I don't remember the title.
Father John Misty and Lana Del Rey these days with the titles. Like,
yeah, he's on that her new album. That's weird.
They're in a similar sphere of influence.
Father John Misty is one that I absolutely adored when he came out. And he hasn't done like basically his first 2 albums, which are Fear Fun and I Love You Honey Bear, are 2 excellent albums. And everything else since has been kind of I don't know. The song Goodbye Mr. Blue is about his cat dying, and it just perfectly encapsulates like kind of how you feel about a period of life or something. This cat was like the last fragments that I had of this relationship.
Okay.
And each verse, it's got like a Bob Dylan kind of like every verse ends the same line, which is don't the last time come too soon. And so it's just beautifully written. It's very like subdued. The whole song is very just like a guitar picking and kind of like a kind of, it's got a good pace, but it's just all very very quiet, very like highlights his vocals, and it's just a beautifully written like it makes me cry every time I hear it, and it's so good. And so like it kind of stands out among this album of like, so far what I've listened to, what I've heard of the album is like, I don't know. But it's like, oh, you got one absolutely perfect thing into this, And that's to be celebrated. It makes me like an album sometimes when there's one song that you're like, oh, that song though.
Right. All right. Well, my number 1 song is like, it's kind of a boring choice because it's also my favorite album. It's the song Good Will Hunting by Dark Country New Road. So one line that I always remember in my head was some critic was writing about the music of Les Miserables, and they referred to it as some of the most explosive music ever composed. And I always think about that with Les Miserables because, Les Miserables, the music is quite explosive. And so is the music of Dark Country New Road.
Yeah.
And so is this particular song, which has all these kind of interesting twists and turns. And it's just... There's a few really exciting songs on the album, but I think it's the peak of the album. And it's definitely the song I listened to the most in 2022. My Spotify stats are kind of screwed up from like playing music from a lot of different Spotify accounts over the course of my life. So I kind of rotate between a few different ones in different places. So yeah, but for sure, I listen to Good Will Hunting the most. And it's a great song. That's where I would start, honestly. If you don't know Dark Country New Road, just put that song on.
I think that's where I started. I think that because I heard that.
I probably sent that song to you.
Yeah, probably.
So all right. So what about you? What's your number 1 song of the year?
Also, kind of like I guess it's lackluster because maybe we should have started with the songs. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
It is Keep Driving by Harry Styles is my favorite song of the year. It is also a great like kind of snapshot of life kind of deal. Mm-hmm. But it's just the music's perfect, the melody's perfect, and the lyrics are so good, which we'll talk about later, I guess. But yeah, I mean, like if I wanted... I believe that you should, if you were to listen to Harry's House and you hadn't heard it yet, I would want you to put on the first track, which is Music for a Sushi Restaurant, just because it sets the tone of the album very well. But like if I wanted you to hear one song from it, I would show you Keep Driving.
All right, well, let's see. We've done songs, we've done albums, we've done movies. All right, let's bang out like another little item.
Okay.
Did you have a top podcast?
Yeah, actually.
All right, give me your top 3 podcasts.
Not, but this is out of 2022.
No, I don't think it matters.
Yeah. So, so I just want to talk about one,
Okay.
which is called Bear Brook.
Okay.
It was produced by NHPR,
Oh, okay.
and it is about the Bear Brook State Park murders. Familiar?
No.
Oh my God! Really?
No. I'll
Okay.
write it down. Bear Brook.
People got murdered there. Well,
Oh.
no, actually, they weren't murdered there. Their bodies were found there.
Ah.
Their bodies were found in barrels there, and they had been there for years.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, what is interesting about this is that they were found in the 80s. Don't hold me to these facts, all right, people? They were found in the 80s, and no one knew who they were until 2017. Okay? Because they figured out how to track through DNA searches like Ancestry.com.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and they identified the people finally in I think they actually identified them in 2019. So basically these people were buried in a memorial spot with no names or anything because they had no idea who they were. But I was debating about how much I wanted to say, but basically what they figure out throughout the 40 years that they're investigating this is that he was a serial killer, and they figure out who he is, and it's wild time because this basically the podcast starts before they knew any of these things, and then over the years he updates it and is here's what we know.
Oh, I like that.
So it's a wild fun time, and they are apparently putting out a second season. I have no idea what they're doing it about, because this has basically been summed up. So I don't know if it's another New Hampshire murder or what, but it's very fun to listen to a true crime podcast about New Hampshire, because it's they're describing spots that you're oh yeah, I knew that.
Interesting.
You know?
All right.
So
Cool.
yeah, what do you want to talk about podcasts?
Well, I don't really want to talk about it. I just wanted to do a shout out to the fact that I listened to a bajillion podcasts from the Ringer Network this year. So the Rewatchables. This is Bill Simmons' podcast where they talk about movies that are on all the time or that you like to watch over and over again.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard because people don't really watch TV anymore. So they touch on all the movies that used to be on TV all the time.
Oh, sure.
But then they also kind of have the more modern ones. They even did a Top Gun Maverick episode because they're this movie's so rewatchable.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just fun.
Yeah.
I like those kind of conversations. The Big Picture is another movie podcast. It's hosted by this guy named Sean Fennessy, who's a neurotic, movie-loving dad. And so there's a lot I can relate to from his perspective. And then The Watch is a TV podcast that I discovered a lot of great stuff this year from. And it's hosted by Chris Ryan and Andy Greenwald, who are guys who I've been reading their writing in magazines since I was a teenager. And it's just cool to be able to they do these podcasts twice a week. So it's so cool to be able to check in with these people all the time. It's a little bit rotting my brain. It's in the way that people guys who listen to Howard Stern or Rush Limbaugh or something, where it's just this constant person's thoughts entering your brain all the time. It's it's too much actually. So I'm kind of trying to draw back a little bit. My phone's messed up right now. It does this thing where every 8 minutes it power cycles off.
Oh my God,
and
dude.
so
You gotta get a new phone.
I do have to get a new phone, but in the meantime, I'm kind of using it as a way to wean myself off of constantly curating my content experience.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's sometimes you're listening to a podcast where I'm doing
get
dishes,
that.
and then my phone freezes and it stops playing, and it's all right, well, I'm gonna do the rest of these dishes in silence.
Yeah, I get that.
And it's probably good for me. But anyway, that's all I listened to all year was those podcasts.
I just got a really good idea for you.
Okay.
Through this is going to be your thing that you record over a 10-year cycle, right? And then you put it out at the end. You should do a podcast where you show movies to your boys.
Yeah,
like the classic movies that you're oh, you got to see this kind of thing, and then interview them afterwards about it.
that's a good idea. It's gonna be a little while before we can do it, probably. But
Well, yeah.
then again, I guess we could start. We could do Elf.
Yeah, we could do Elf.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Okay, so let's talk about all right, what else? I'm trying to check off the minor ones. Books.
Okay. I only read things for school, basically.
Yep.
So the two things that I wanted to talk about are, one is a comic book, the other one is a book I haven't read yet.
Okay.
Okay, I started it, but I haven't read it. So I'll just do it, and then you can go on your book thing. How about that? We don't
Okay,
need
sure.
to go back and forth.
Sure.
So the first one is actually sitting right over there, and it's called Manifest Destiny. It's a comic book, but the premise is that Lewis and Clark are hired to go out west, and the real reason is that Jefferson hires them to kill and clear monsters from the west.
Ah, okay. That's fun.
So it's a lot of fun. So they bring some soldiers with them, and also a bunch of convicts, because the convicts are like expendable, basically.
I see.
And they're like, we're about to go up and face monsters, so we need some people that, because people are going to die here. So that is the premise.
Manifest Destiny, good title.
Yeah. And the whole, there's fun little history like Easter eggs in it, but it's obviously mostly fantasy kind of thing.
It's history in the Abraham Lincoln vampire hunter vein.
Yes, exactly. And so that was a lot of fun. And then the other thing that I started reading, and already after the first chapter, I was like, this is going to be incredible, is A Moral Man by Derek Delgadio.
Oh.
Have you heard about this at all?
No.
Okay.
No.
So I have it out in the living room. I'll
Is
show
this
it
a
to you
book
before.
that came before or after his
After.
show? Oh, interesting.
It's like
Okay.
brand new.
Oh, cool.
And although it's a paperback, but I don't know. So maybe
Publishing's
I'm
weird
wrong.
these days. Some books come out in paperback.
But I read the first chapter and I was like, oh my God, dude.
Nice.
So it's going to be a banger for sure. So those are the books that I wanted to talk about.
Okay. So my top 3 books were, I read this book called Nothing to See Here, and I'm going to get the author's name wrong. His name is like Kevin Williams or Kevin Williamson or something like that.
Okay.
But anyway, Nothing to See Here is the name of the book. And it's about a woman who gets kind of called by a former college friend to come potentially nanny her children. She's like married to this wealthy senator, and she needs someone to look after these kids. And so she gets there and she finds out that the children spontaneously burst into flames.
Oh my God.
And they're fine, but they burn. They burn like buildings down if they're in the buildings,
Oh my God.
And so it's kind of a metaphor about like being thrown into the idea of taking care of children, but it also just has a lot of stuff to do with like, I feel like it really well observes this idea of like class differences. Like this woman is not, she lives with her mother and they're like pretty poor, and then she goes and like joins this like rich family, and the ways in which she kind of remarks on the class differences and how you're supposed to kind of like adjust to the rules of different social strata is interesting. So good book there. That's my number 3. Number 2 is a book called Sea of Tranquility, which is by Emily St. John Mandel. She wrote the book Station 11, which I still have not read. But she wrote, I read 2 of her books, Sea of Tranquility and Glass Hotel, which turn out to be connected, in fact, which I did not know.
Interesting.
But some of the ancillary characters from Sea of Tranquility, which is the most recent book, are actually like the main characters of the Glass Hotel.
Interesting.
So I read it. I accidentally read it in reverse order, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
And they're very different. She actually says that all of her books take place in parallel universes. So there are characters,
cool. Really cool.
There are characters that appear in Station 11, like that I know from the show, that are in the Glass Hotel, but in different circumstances. And then there's characters that are in Sea of Tranquility and in Glass Hotel in the same circumstances, but maybe it's like in this universe the same thing happened, but in a slightly different way.
Right.
Or whatever.
That's interesting.
Sea of Tranquility is technically a time travel book.
Awesome.
It takes place across like lots of different centuries, but it's mostly a book about processing COVID-19. And,
holy crap, man. That sounds incredible.
COVID-19 happens in the book, which is interesting.
Okay.
And there's a character who's basically a stand-in for Emily St. John Mandel, who is an author who's promoting a book about a pandemic when a real pandemic starts.
Oh my God.
And so it's got a lot of It's very cathartic in that way, reading it. And it's also just very clever. And I'll say that I really loved The Glass Hotel, but it doesn't have a super strong or decisive ending. But Sea of Tranquility, which is the one, it actually is from 2022, has a very strong, very decisive, very like you don't see it coming, but everything makes sense kind of ending, and it's great. All right, so my number one book of the year is a book called No One Is Talking About This. It's by Patricia Lockwood, and this is a book that is about being online all the time to the point where like there are so many references to real things that happened on Twitter and that kind of thing. And I understood like 80% of them. Some of it I was like, I don't even know what this is. I'm sure this is a real thing. But it's not really what the book is about. It's so this idea of no one is talking about this is kind of about this idea that more important and personal things might be happening, and the kind of weird disconnect of like being a person online and having this other thing going on in your life. Basically, like the second half of the book is about her sister having complications with her pregnancy. And so it is a novel, but it is very clearly actually a true story that she is just telling in an only tiny little bit veiled version of like what actually happened.
Sure.
And it's obviously like it's very difficult, but it's also like very beautifully, wonderfully written. So I've read 2 of Patricia Lockwood's books. She has a book called Priest Daddy as well that is also like you want to take a picture of every single page, you know, kind of thing. But no one is talking about this. Yeah, that was a big deal book for me this year. So that's my number 1.
Love it.
All right, so now let's do TV shows.
Okay. God, there were so many
This
of
is a
them.
big list.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an important list. Okay, so let's talk about what's your number 3 TV show of the year?
So I actually used number 3 as a placeholder of all the Marvel things.
Okay.
And when I say all the Marvel things, there are 3 specifically, which is She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, and Werewolf by Night.
Yep.
You could also throw Guardians in there, whatever. I liked what they did with the TV this year. I thought that it kind of finally felt like Marvel figured out what was gonna be
Like what to do with it.
Yeah, they aren't all going to be big event things like WandaVision and Winter Soldier.
Right.
You know, so that is I didn't even really want to include Marvel here, but I felt like it needed to be there in the idea that I spent a lot of time watching these this year.
Yeah.
And I really, really, truly enjoyed them. Moon Knight, not so much. But
I forgot about Moon Knight.
yeah, Moon Knight. I can't even remember. Did you start Moon Knight or not?
Yeah, I watched 3 episodes and then I was like, I'm out.
Yeah, I don't know why people like it. Now
Well,
Oscar,
like Oscar Isaac.
I love
Yeah.
I love me some Oscar Isaac. So yeah, I'm using that as the placeholder. Like I said, I don't even really want it there, but it's there.
All right.
What do you got at number 3?
My number 3, and this was touch and go, because very close third was season 2 of Russian Doll.
Okay.
Which is a show that I really love. The first season of Russian Doll is like spectacular, and the second season does something really different. And it has a very interesting kind of like message and idea about like lineage. And I just love Natasha Lyonne. I can't wait for this new show she's going to be on that Ryan Johnson is directing. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a detective show. Like she's
Okay,
like
great.
a private eye.
Awesome.
It comes out at the end of the month. So I love Natasha Lyonne. I'll watch her in anything.
Yeah.
Russian Doll was like really beautiful and thoughtful. But my number 3 is The Bear.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I figured this would be on your list.
Yeah, I really loved The Bear. It's got my music.
Mm-hmm.
It's got my people in it. It's it's got all these kind of like story threads that are twisted throughout it that just keep kind of paying off in spectacular ways. People talk about the like 15-minute take in one of the episodes, but there's also in the last episode, the main character Carmi has like a 7 or 8 minute monologue in one single unbroken shot. And it's a fantastic moment, and it really ties together a lot of the like what you're seeing over the course of a season is a guy who's grieving his brother, basically.
Right.
And all of his behavior is motivated by grief. And you don't you get that, but you don't get it until like you get it. And it's just, I don't know. It's a wonderfully like stitched together 8 episodes of TV. I'm very interested in what season 2 of The Bear could even look like, because it ends on like a really like wonderful kind of like hopeful note where I was like, this could be it, and I'd be okay if it was. But I'm curious about what it'll be. But yeah, it was I really enjoyed the experience of watching The Bear, because we watched it like one episode a night for 8 nights.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And it was just like, it was great. It was like, I looked forward to it every time. I was surprised by it every time. The episode that everyone talks about, the one take episode, is actually incredibly short. So that's another funny thing where you're like, you know, you watch one episode a night and you get to episode 7, you're like, that episode's over already.
Yeah,
like it's just in and
yeah.
out. And I loved that move, actually. I love the idea of doing something that's explosive and important and stressful and instantly over.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's a lot that I loved about The Bear. Loved the performances. Loved, this guy, Eben Moss-Bacharach, who plays Cousin Richie in the show, I love this guy and in everything. And he shows up in Andor as well. So he had a really good 2022. So that's my number 3.
So he had a really good 2022.
Yeah, that's my number 3 is The Bear.
I love it. I still have not gone through The Bear. I started it and decided that it was too stressful for me based upon kitchen stuff. But
it is stressful, but, you know, maybe with the menu now as kind of helping you through it, you know, like they make an interesting pairing for the year.
It's very possible by the end of 2023 that I will be teaching and not in the restaurant industry anymore. And maybe I will find a lot of comfort in
that'll be your time to dig into The Bear.
So I shouldn't have brought up the Marvel stuff. You know, as we talk about it, you know, it's like, is that really number 3 or what? You know, because I don't know.
It depends on what you mean by a top 3.
I know,
it's something
but here's why.
The Marvel TV experiment is obviously important to both of us.
The reason why is because I now have 3 like that I really think are important, but we'll leave one off to the side and we'll talk about it afterwards. Basically, I think number 2, I'm gonna have to put Peacemaker in number 2.
Oh, I love Peacemaker.
It's so good.
What a great show. I
mean, and that's why the top 3, it's so hard to do, but it's like, I thought it was an awesome way to go. It's just rock and roll superheroes, you know, like.
Yeah, nothing has shown me what a gift James Gunn has for character and character arcs more than that show.
Yeah.
Where even the smallest characters, you know, they have these little arcs and moments.
Yeah.
And that surprise you.
Yeah.
The finale episode of Peacemaker is just so good.
Yeah. It's, I mean, all around, like, great season, great characters, great music, great, you know, and it's like, what I love about it too is that it's like, you take a stupid character and make it like awesome,
right?
You know, it's so great. And also, what a interesting story idea to introduce a character in a movie and do a spin-off TV show like right off the bat.
Well, also kind of inverting the character.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
And it's all the same guy. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like James Gunn took Peacemaker from someone else and reinvented the character.
Right.
He took it from himself and was like, I'm actually going to go a different way.
Yeah.
Because of how I want to tell this story.
Yeah.
And I actually haven't revisited the Suicide Squad, which I did really like.
Yeah, I did too.
But I'd be curious to think about how Peacemaker comes across. You know what I mean? Having now been with the guy for that time.
But I also think that like it's kind of like we meet him at. It's like in the movie we meet him at a very complicated time, kind of thing, and his whole like the whole story arc of him and Rick Flag is very interesting and upsetting. You know, like you don't feel like you're not like mad at Peacemaker in that moment. You're more like frustrated and upset, like he is.
Right.
You know, like okay, so have you done 2?
I haven't done 2 yet.
Okay,
no.
you're number 2.
My number 2 show is Andor.
I knew I could have picked out this
Here's
list
the
on
thing.
you.
If Andor was done already, I think it would be my number 1.
Right.
But I honestly feel like the end of Andor season 1 doesn't end super decisively. It doesn't end like here's the end of the story. It ends kind of on a to be continued.
Right.
Have you watched Andor yet?
No.
Okay,
well, I watched first like 2 episodes.
So it kind of just continued. It's like, all right, story's going to continue.
Yeah.
Which is great. So it almost felt like because of that, I couldn't make it number one.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
but I mean, man, I loved this show.
Yeah.
And it has so many, like I said, so many banger lines. So many, like there's like a famous monologue already from Stellan Skarsgård where he like talks about, he's like, I've made my mind a sunless space. I burn my life for a sunset that I will never see. Like all this, like
Ooh.
it's just like, and the thing is, you know, you might see this in like GIFs and stuff. What the show, he just kind of like just says it. Like he just kind of like throws it away. He's not saying it like, he's not like, I've made my mind a sunless space. He's like, I've made my mind a sunless space. I burn my life for a sunset I'll never see. You know, you're like, they're just throwing away the greatest lines in the world. And like, Power Doesn't Panic. That's another one I think about all the time. There's so many great character moments and story moments. And like, okay, I said before how I love control room celebrations.
Yeah.
That's another one I love is people walking determinedly towards something. Okay?
Sure.
And there are multiple times in Andor where a group of people is walking towards something with like a growing sense of resolve and moral determination. And you watch it happen on their faces.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's just so many moments of this where it's like, I don't really care about Star Wars.
Right.
I
me
liked
either.
Rogue One a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I liked The Last Jedi. I liked the original Star Wars movies when I was a kid. I haven't watched them in a long time. I don't really care about that. This is a show about like how a revolution starts. You
Yeah,
know? And
sure.
it doesn't matter that it's Star Wars. What it matters is it's just like, here is an oppressive regime and here's how they work. And people say like this show shows why the Empire is bad in ways that like no other Star Wars thing has ever really bothered to do.
Interesting.
But anyway, it's like, here's all this stuff. Here are these sort of incredible mini, like 3-episode arcs, like little mini movies. And just payoff after payoff after payoff, and just like wonderful, emotionally cathartic moments. So yeah, Andor, amazing show. Just like a miracle that it's a Star Wars Disney Plus show. But it's fantastic. And even if you don't care at all about Star Wars, I would say
that's the thing with the Star Wars stuff is that it's like they have such good the intellectual property, you know?
Yeah.
The bones are so there and they just keep fucking it up.
That's true. I know. All right. Well, what is your number one show?
All right, my number one show. See, it's kind of tied. I want to talk about 2.
Okay.
I'm going to break rules.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to break rules. The disappointment on your face is clear. No,
I'm happy.
No. The White Lotus.
Aha.
Okay. I assume you have not watched it.
No, I have not watched it.
Okay. So the first
I love
season,
Aubrey Plaza, but
the first season is not 2022.
right.
And the first season is mostly what I'm talking about here because I'm in the middle of season 2 right now.
Aha.
This show is so good. Okay? Mostly just because it is about a resort and a thing that happens there. And the whole first season you're waiting to find out what the thing is that happens. But the ride is so much fun that it doesn't matter what the thing is. There is a guy who I don't know his name. I should have looked it up ahead of time, but he plays Armand, who is the hotel manager. And this performance in the first season is like the single greatest performance that I've seen on TV like in a long time. He's incredible. And the whole show you're like, I just want to be with this guy the whole time. He's so great. And he's like a recovering addict and he ends up relapsing. And that's like most of his story arc is his relapse, and it's so good. He's incredible in it. I've never seen him in anything else. We could look it up. No, we won't. We'll just leave it open to say Armand is incredible. Aubrey Plaza, not in the first season. She's in the second season.
Right. I know. That's my only barrier is that like I'm like I want to see Aubrey Plaza, but I got to watch the first season.
No, watch the first season. It's so
Yeah.
good.
No, I will.
And then I'll just quickly say shout out to Nathan Fielder's show, The Rehearsal.
Yes, I have not watched that yet because I feel like it's going to be difficult.
It's a little difficult.
Yeah.
But it's also like this is what mad genius like Nathan Fielder does with a ton of money.
Right.
And so it's like a lot of fun because of that.
That is exciting.
And
I've kind of been saving that one.
you good, you know. Watch it when you're ready.
Yeah.
All right. Number 1, Zach.
Well, my number one choice is like pretty obvious if anyone's been around me all year. It's Station 11.
Yeah.
It's kind of a hedge because Station 11, a lot of people had it on their list last year, but those were critics who got like screeners. Station 11 did not finish until the end of 2022, or the beginning of 2022, like January of 2022. This is a show that is about like art and time and people and so much of it is just about, I don't know, the creative spirit, I guess. And that's a common theme, right? Like one of my favorite things about The Fabelmans is these scenes watching teenage Steven Spielberg's stand-in create like war movies, and the way they figure out how to like lay a board into like a hole dug in the ground with a bunch of sand in it, and then step on the board as you run to make it seem like a grenade or a mortar or something exploded right behind you.
Cool.
So that kind of stuff. Similarly, like Station 11 has like these crazy costumes that people are wearing when they're performing Shakespeare that like they've just made out of like the detritus of the apocalypse.
Sure.
You know? And so it's beautiful to look at. Not only that, though, like whenever someone's performing Shakespeare in Station 11, it's like in the middle of a nested montage where like you're seeing the Shakespeare performance plus a flashback to something 20 years ago, and the audio is like intercut and overlapping, and then it's also skipping ahead like another 10 years or whatever to a different thing, and it's like collapsing these time and these stories to the point where like if you took someone who had never watched Station 11 and you just pulled like a montage from the end of episode 2,
Sure.
they'd be like, I don't understand anything I'm seeing. Like, I don't understand any of the images or sounds that I'm seeing because it is so, I mean, and it rewards rewatching too, because like there is audio from scenes that don't happen until like episode 7 or 8 that you hear in episode 1 and 2. And you just hear little pieces of this sound and you don't even know what it is. But then 7 episodes later, you see it. And you're like, that's what I heard in the background of that Shakespeare scene as it flashed through a character's head, because this scene I'm seeing in episode 7 took place 20 years before what I saw in episode 2.
Oh, my God.
It's wildly dense, and yet then there's these moments of just like insane emotional payoff. Like, I don't think a TV show has made me cry ever as much as Station 11 did, in like tears of joy kind of way.
Yeah.
It's funny because lots of kind of brutal and sad and violent things happen in Station 11, but what you remember is the joy.
Sure. And that's like when you're able to do that, that's like the crowning achievement, right?
Yes. So yeah, Station 11, favorite show of the year. I feel like it's actually a good segue into like Triple Spiral favorite moments from like TV and movies.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what you got for that, but I'll just do it backwards, because my number one TV moment of the year it is the 9th episode of Station 11, and there is a scene that happens at the end of the episode where, for reasons that make sense later on, a bunch of babies are all born at once in a department store. And it is the most like shocking and insane and like deliriously beautiful thing I've ever seen on a TV show. Like, it like knocked me out. I could not believe it.
Okay.
And like I was like sobbing watching this scene. And it's so insane to describe. Like, oh yeah, it's the scene where a whole bunch of babies are a bunch of women all go into labor at the exact same time in a department store. And it's like, yep, well, to explain how we got there is very difficult, but to be there in that moment, and what it sort of represents within the story, it's like these are the first people born after the apocalypse, you know, and it's like, I don't know, it's amazing. It's my favorite. It was my favorite moment of the year. I'll just do my other 2 things that I have on this list now.
I really don't have anything for this.
You don't have moments?
I not really.
I love a good moment.
Well, no, but I don't know. It was like when I was trying to pull it up, I felt like blank, which is troubling.
Well, my second favorite is there's a prison break sequence in Andor.
Okay.
Episode called One Way Out.
Yeah.
And it is one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen. It has 2 different incredible monologues. And one of them is where this chant of "One Way Out" comes from. And the whole sequence that involves this prison break is absolutely amazing. When I had my projector set up yesterday, after I finished watching Top Gun Maverick, I just pulled up the prison break sequence from Andor again and watched the whole thing from beginning to end because I love it so much. And then my third place moment was the Peacemaker opening credits.
Yes.
Best opening credits on TV. Honestly, my favorite part of most of the episodes. One thing they do that's really wonderful is kind of the final battle in the last episode. They bring the song from the opening credits in, and that happens in it, and it's this great kind of moment of connection. But yeah, favorite moments of the year, those are them. Honorable mention to the already mentioned White Noise end credits, which is sort of like the Peacemaker opening credits.
Yeah. I that's actually what I was thinking about too, was kind of like the unexpected kind of things like that, like where like the moment of joy that I felt with watching the Peacemaker opening credits was like that's the type of joy that's very hard to get.
Yes.
You know, like
No, that's true. That was amazing. All right, so I think the only thing we really have left is we were going to do like Triple Spiral My Guys, which is
well, okay, so do you have anything written for non-2022 songs?
Yes, I do actually. I have a list.
Okay, I do too.
All right. Tell me what are your non-2022 songs? Let's just do all of them.
I was sitting in a car with my friend Lucy, and she had an Adele song come on that I had never heard before. It's called Chasing Pavements. Have you ever heard that song?
Yes. That's like the first one.
I like didn't know it at all.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is such a great song.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's like it's so that was one of them, okay? Another one is that I have because Sarah put it on the other day, I've been like obsessed with the album Post-War by M. Ward.
Oh yeah.
Okay? And the first song, Poison Cup, is like it came on the other day and I was like, oh my God, why is he so good?
When M. Ward is good, he's great.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's actually my main bit with She and Him is like, why does She and Him suck so bad?
Because you don't let M. Ward be M. Ward.
You got to let M. Ward be M. Ward.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is, number one, this is basically just the whole band of Haim and how good they are.
Yeah.
But specifically the song that appears at the end of a She-Hulk episode, Now I'm In It, which is actually like a bonus track on Women in Music Part 3. But that song like just makes me so excited and energized.
The music on She-Hulk was so great and so central to kind of creating the mood of that show.
Yeah.
I like that. There's a song, I can't remember who sings it, but it's called like Say My Name. That's from one of the end credits of one of the songs.
Yeah.
And I listened to that song a bunch too because
Yeah.
I was like, this is just so fun. It's like, I don't know. I love a song that you can attach to a movie or TV show too.
Yeah.
Like that's nice.
I do too.
Honestly, the Lady Gaga Top Gun song, awesome.
Really?
You know what's
I
so
don't know
great
if I
about
know
it? This is what's great about it. You don't even realize it's happening necessarily unless you've heard the song, but the movie uses basically kind of musical cues from the Lady Gaga song throughout the whole movie without actually any of the singing starting, you know, and they hold that off for the end credits. And when it comes on, you're like, hell yeah! Like this is the song I've been hearing all along. I didn't know it. Because they also use all the other Top Gun music. They use like Danger Zone and stuff like that.
Sure.
So and the Top Gun bells, the famous Top Gun bells.
Okay. Your
non-22 songs. Wartime Prayers by Paul Simon. I listened to that album Surprise a ton.
Yeah.
And Wartime Prayers was for some reason. I love the chorus of the song. It's like the line. It's like, you cannot walk with the holy if you're just a halfway decent man. I don't pretend that I'm a mastermind with a genius marketing plan.
Oh, that's great.
Perfect Paul Simon lyrics. And then he says like, I'm trying to tap now into some wisdom, even a little drop. And I'm like, yeah, man, me too, man. Just trying to tap into some wisdom.
I was reading a thing with Paul Simon talking about Obvious Child, which is another song that I found this year that I absolutely
love
adore.
that song.
I mean, I had heard it before, but I'd never like really listened to the lyrics and stuff.
Right.
So he's talking about, it's like Paul Simon's like whole bit with songwriting is like that he like writes like the story of the everyman.
Yeah.
And like I've been trying to, so like people describe that type of storyline as like slice of life
Sure.
or something like that. We gotta come up with a better term for all that. We need an umbrella term for when it's like slice of life or story of the everyman, something like that. We got to come up with something else, okay?
Okay.
Because I don't like slice of life. That bothers me. Maybe it's the word slice.
Slice is a weird word.
So while you were talking about it, I thought about two things that. Wait, have you gotten through the list?
No, but that's okay. Just go on.
I
Continue
feel
with your
like
thought.
this whole episode has been Zach being like, no, yeah, it's fine. No, keep going.
All right. So number 2 for me is For No One by the Beatles,
Oh my God.
which I just found like, I don't know, something about like the lyrics of that really hit me this year. And also just the instrumentation. It's very Wes Anderson.
Yes, that's right. We were talking about it, and you were like,
yeah.
"How has that not been used in a Wes Anderson
Probably it's too
movie?"
expensive, but it's but anyway, it's a great song. And then my number 1 is a song by Earl Sweatshirt and Zaloopers or I don't know how to pronounce it. It's another rapper. It's called Easter Sunday.
Okay.
And this is what I love about it. First of all, it's just great beat. And then the first line from Zaloopers is when my mama hear this, I know she's gonna be feeling it. Her son make her feel good like photosynthesis. And then the other part that I love about it is that the second half of the song is Earl Sweatshirt. And what I love about Earl Sweatshirt when Earl Sweatshirt comes in on like a verse is that you do not know where he's going to come in, like on the beat. He is like, every time you expect him to come in through the door, he comes in through the chimney. And like, and he does that exact thing where like the song, his verse starts on such an odd beat and he just keeps the ball in the air somehow.
Do you still have lines that you wanted to say from things?
Yeah, I thought that'd be
Okay.
good. That'd be a good last list,
Okay.
probably.
I
So-
only have one.
Oh, you only have one? All right. Well, what about this? Do you want to do My Guys?
Yeah.
I said, so My
think so.
Guys is a gender
I
neutral
love
term.
this.
And they're just the people that are my people.
Yes.
And so this is my Guys, okay? Eben Moss-Bacharach, who plays Richie on The Bear, and I think his name is like Skine or Skeen in Andor. And it's very funny because a lot of people like to like take pictures of him from Andor and like caption it with lines from The Bear. Like just imagine this guy like getting upset at Andor and being like, cousin. Aubrey Plaza,
Yes.
another one of my guys. Third surprising entry, Ethan Hawke. So I saw like The Northman this year, and I liked Ethan Hawke in The Northman. And then just like when he turned up in Glass Onion at the beginning, I was like, that's my guy.
Yeah.
You know? And then I was like, huh, interesting. And then I know you didn't have a list of best non-2022 movies, so I just figured we'd skip that. But I will say that I saw First Reformed this year for the
I've never
first
even
time.
heard of that.
It's incredible. First Reformed is a movie about a priest who gradually gets radicalized about climate change.
Okay.
It is incredibly bleak and yet also optimistic.
Okay.
And it's a fantastic movie. It's a every single scene in the movie is fantastic. It's a 5-star movie for me.
Huh.
So First Reformed stars Ethan Hawke. And so that's probably why Ethan Hawke became one of my guys.
Interesting.
But yeah. So who are you guys? Who are your guys?
All right, my guys are so John David Washington.
Oh yeah.
Everything he does, I'm
That's
like,
definitely my guy.
as soon as he comes on screen, you're like, I'm in love with you.
Yeah, here's my
dude.
guy.
You're,
Yeah.
you're amazing. Okay, so him, he's only in out of 2022. The only thing that he's in is Amsterdam. But he's so good in it. It's I cannot tell you that enough.
Mm-hmm.
And also in Amsterdam, another one of my guys, Christian Bale, baby. All right, so last night we watched The Pale Blue Eye. All right.
It's like Edgar Allan Poe or something, right?
Yeah, so it's a novel that they turned into a movie. It is not, it's not historically accurate. They use Edgar Allan Poe for basically no reason. This could be any character that I don't know why they made it Edgar Allan Poe.
We live in an era of IP content.
And also it strikes me as like they were like, oh, what did Edgar Allan Poe do while he was at military school? It's very strange, okay?
Well, he got a guy drunk and he bricked him up in a wall.
Yeah, I know, right? It's Cask of Amontillado. Is that the
Yeah,
one?
that's the one, yeah.
So, okay. So, why did they make it Edgar Allan Poe? I don't know. The movie itself, interesting, not great. Okay. Christian Bale in it, great.
Yeah.
Okay. He's my guy. Number 1, Florence Pugh.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
Florence Pugh, definitely that's my guy.
Wasn't really necessarily settled on her. Like I had seen Midsommar, which I loved.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved that she was in Black Widow and everything. But 2 performances this year of movies that were not my favorite movies. Don't Worry, Darling, and The Wonder. Okay? Florence Pugh holds both of those movies up with her performance so hard. And like every time she's on the screen, you're like, that's my guy. I'm just with you, and I want to see you doing whatever you want to do. She's just a great actress.
Can you believe she's going to be in Dune Part 2?
I-
How does Florence Pugh fit into Dune?
Dude, every time I hear that someone's going to be in it, I'm like, yeah, all right. Like, all of that, I don't know.
They might be in it for 5 minutes. That's the other thing about a movie like Dune.
Dune is like, I imagine, I really liked the first part,
Yeah.
but something about it really strikes me like number 2 is going to make me be like, meh on Dune.
You might be right.
I might also go the reverse and say, oh my God, it's incredible, and it makes the first one so much better. So who knows? But
Depends on how much they give Dave Bautista to do.
that's probably true. You know what I really want to see is Knock at the Cabin Door.
Did I tell you? I've been reading that book. And
Really?
I didn't know they were making it a movie.
Whoa.
Like I read on my phone at night, and it's on my like ebook app.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's called "A Knock at the Cabin at the End of the World" or something in the book.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, interesting. So I just started reading it, and then sitting in the Fablemans theater,
Yeah.
this trailer comes on, and I'm like, this is the book I'm reading, and then it's
That's
like M. Night
so
Shyamalan
weird.
is adapting this movie.
That's
yeah.
so weird.
Yeah.
And it's a little disappointing for you because now you're going to know whatever happens in it. Like,
Well, actually, the
before
trailer pretty much got up to the point that I read to.
Are you going to stop reading it so you can see the movie?
No, I think I'll finish the book. It was
Yeah.
funny though, because I was like, do I get up and go to the bathroom now? Like,
Yeah.
in case this trailer, and then I was like, no, whatever. This is an interesting experience. But then
Yeah.
the trailer doesn't go any further than that.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm very, very intrigued by that. Mostly because it's like everybody hates on M. Night Shyamalan, and it's like he's got some bangers in his book. So
That guy's coming back.
yeah,
He's coming back in a big way.
the knockable stuff is really like middle career stuff.
Yeah.
It's like The Happening and
The
stuff
the
like that.
world has changed such that we didn't realize what we had with M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
When we ragged on M. Night Shyamalan,
That's true.
we didn't realize where the basement is. And now
Yeah.
it's like, no, man, come back, M. Night. We want anything you got, man. We from the mind of M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Where were we talking about?
We just finished
Oh.
My Guy.
My guys. Yeah. All right, so let's do lines.
Okay.
So tell me, what's your line of the year?
It's okay. It's funny, and that's why I think I like it so much because
Sure.
I like when there's this is from a song. It's not from a show or anything. I feel like I consumed so much in 2022 that I like have forgotten it all. That's like how when I started to sit down and write this list and you were talking about like moments and stuff,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know.
I try to write down as much as I can.
You know what I really enjoyed for a moment now that we've been talking about it is in Miss Marvel when she has have you watched it?
No.
Oh shit. All right, well, I almost spoiled something there. Wow. Okay. So, maple syrup, coffee, pancakes for 2. Hash brown, egg yolk. I will always love you. It is the silliest line that happens in the middle of Keep Driving by Harry Styles. And it is, when you hear it, it's like the silliest, perfect line.
Yeah.
It's so funny when it happens in the song because you're like, did he really just say hash brown, egg yolk, I will always love you? And it's perfect. It's so great.
Nice. All right. Well, I had quite a few like lines I remember because that's the way my brain works. I always remember like lines.
Absolutely.
You know? So I'd written down like a few different things. Like there's a recurring line in Station 11 that's "I remember damage."
Yes.
That I love. And there's also there's a line in my head from John Bernthal in the show "We Own This City," which is fantastic, that I hear all the time, which is him going, God damn, Sean! I didn't know I was working with Super Cop. And I hear that all the time, but it's mostly the performance, not the line. So what I actually settled on here was a theme of like good lines that make me think about being a parent. And so my number 3 one was I already said from Andor, which is I love him more than anything he could ever do wrong.
That's so great.
It's a beautiful line. And then my second one is from the documentary Senior.
Okay.
Robert Downey Jr. is the perfect person to make a documentary about dealing with his relationship with his father and acknowledging the fact that maybe making a documentary about it was the only way he was ever going to do it, you know? And it's so great because one thing is you're like, I can't believe there's so many times you're like, I can't believe there's a camera in here recording this, you know?
Right.
And you almost start to question whether or not it's like real or something, but it's like, no, you know it's real because you know that Robert Downey Jr. is like, this is the only way I can do this. This is the only way I can, like that Steven Spielberg scene. It's like, this is the only way I can do this, is to have this happening too.
Yeah.
Almost like he needs it as a distraction and as a lens.
Yeah.
And anyway, I don't want to, you're going to watch this movie and you're going to love it. So I'm not going to
Yeah.
give you the context of it. But there's a line when Robert Downey Jr. says, yeah, I'm getting to know him a little bit. And it is a beautiful, heartbreaking scene. You know, who he's even talking about is kind of a surprise. But so anyway, that one is my number 2. And then my number 1, it's very simple. There's a scene in Top Gun Maverick where a character says to Tom Cruise, it's what my dad would have done. And it knocked me out. Like when I'm getting a little bit teary just thinking about it. When this guy says it, it's this moment of just like beautiful male bonding. And it's so wonderful and lovely. And it's just like, I was like, it's perfect. It's like, it's so simple. So much of what Top Gun Maverick does is like, it's so simple. There's nothing complicated about the story or character motivations or anything happening in Top Gun Maverick, but you're just like, but it's perfect. You don't need to do anything more complicated than it's what my dad would have done. And it's just like, it just floored me. So Top Gun Maverick, that's my line of the year.
Love it.
It's a beautiful movie about like, you know, about that kind of like bonding. And so is the original Top Gun.
Yeah.
The original Top Gun, when Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer like become friends, you know, at the end, it's like, it's spectacularly beautiful.
Yeah.
And Top Gun Maverick is like, what if we just found a way to keep hitting that note 100 times?
Yeah.
And they do it.
I can't wait to watch. Dude, there's so many that I want to see still. And I felt like I watched so many 2022 movies.
Yeah. No,
Like,
I know. I watched a ton of movies this year.
It's wild.
And I a lot of really good ones. So yeah, I was surprising because I kind of thought that I would be talking more about TV shows in this episode, but like that 1-2 punch of The Fabelmans and Top Gun Maverick is like, man, 2 fantastic movies for very different reasons, but also not, because they're both about like movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what is Top Gun Maverick about? A lot of things, but one thing it's really about is like the movies are amazing.
Yeah,
And so is The Fabelmans.
Yeah.
So
The that's I like when it's no, we don't need to take anything too seriously here, like as far as like the content of like you're watching a movie and that's fun.
Yeah.
You know, like that's always like a great
Yeah.
time.
And that is the niche that Tom Cruise is really finding.
Oh man, well, Tom Cruise has kind of been on that for a long time at this
I know,
point.
but like starting at the beginning of the pandemic, he kind of took on this mantle of like, I am now Mr. Movies.
Yeah, that's true. He did. Dude, that video that he put out of him going to see, was it Tenet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I am the ambassador for the movies.
Yeah.
I will keep the movie industry alive by myself.
Yeah.
And, you know, and you're like, he's doing it.
Yeah.
Top Gun Maverick was the #1 movie of the year for like most of the year in terms of the box office. So like he did it. And that is part of the kind of like feeling of triumph of Top Gun Maverick, but it's also just like the perfect execution of a simple thing. So
How
Yes.
excited for the next Mission Impossible movie are
oh
you?
my God, I'm gonna see it on the biggest screen possible. I'm gonna go down to Jordan's Furniture and go see it on IMAX.
So there you go.
So-
Oh, actually, that'd be fun.
Yeah, no, let's do it.
Okay. I haven't been to an IMAX movie in ever.
The amazing thing about that theater is the tickets are actually pretty cheap.
Huh.
They're like $12 tickets. It's like
That's wild.
that's a regular movie ticket.
Yeah.
It's like I paid more money to see Wakanda Forever.
I paid more money today to go see Megan later.
Yeah. So, well, more on that next time, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not going to see Megan, but you can tell me about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so cool. That was it. That was a good episode. Hour 45.
That's actually not bad for us in
No,
the
that's
scope
true.
of things.
Yeah, it's true. All right, I'm going to stop recording.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Prayer lie hold me. I keep my arms wide open. It's never ever all over. Fuck the cost, pay it all forward. You taking off, you taste exhaust from a car motor. Taper in the cloth. My day get started, thanks, praises to my God, then get lost. Start savoring, don't take it as a loss. Octavia in the future, strangest niggas thought. Used to say it's I, inflated condom, 25 now. Try and find a baby mom. Times changing, dog. Chocolate screw, group home, baby pod, dice shaking. Dark days ahead, I got a flaming spark. Time is racist. Problems all related. They both say the sun phased at 180. Fucking 420 blazing. Unraveling the blunt. Trees breaking. She making it a log. 50 paces in the same place. Jogging memory. Cheap masonry got a arm. How the bait taste. He waiting in a pond.
Tell Dolly you want to turn it down, man. Turn it down, Dolly. Turn it